Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Success Navigation. My name is Haseeb. I'm the founder of BRANKIT, where we help e-commerce brands and to improve their supply chain processes and operations. So today episode is very special. I'm here with Donald, who is the founder of AccruMe, and I will just shortly introduce him because the introduction is very long. So he has worked in multiple industries, taking it from entertainment to the property real estate industry, and now he is here in the fintech market and in the Amazon industries, where he is improving and helping the sellers with the capital. That is the main challenge that most of the sellers are facing. So we will study a bit about what are the business models, the way AccruMe is helping the sellers, and how you can get benefit from that. So without further ado, I would like the stage is yours, Don. You can start with your introduction and we will take things from there.
Sure. Thanks, Haseeb. This is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to this. And while we were on waiting here, I saw leave the valuable question in the comments to be selected for a 30-minute one-on-one consultation with you. That's really valuable. That's great. I think everybody should be leaving questions to get to get picked for this consultation call with Haseeb. I think that's fantastic. So
Definitely, yeah.
so about me. So I'll just start real quick, and we'll talk about anything. So what I've done in my career is unusual. I've built businesses in many different industries. I built a financial planning company. I learned about mortgages, so I started a mortgage company and built it to one of the largest in New York State, and sold that 10 years later. I created an industry, something that's never been done before, where I created a mortgage broker franchise. It's never been done. Built that to 760 units nationwide in the United States and sold that 18 months later. I took some time off. I took a year off, just doing whatever, and thought to myself, what do I want to do next? And what do I enjoy? And I had young kids. I enjoyed being on the soccer fields with the kids. So I started a soccer newspaper. This is pre-digital. There was no digital at the time. So it was a full newspaper, 32
Great.
pages. I built it to 167,000 copies per month. I was the only employee. I did everything, soup to nuts. We were the official soccer publication for New York State Soccer. So I took it from zero up to that, and then sold it to my two partners who were silent partners at the time, but they loved seeing the money come in. And I had other opportunities. I went into technology. I built another mortgage company, one of the largest in the country, the fifth largest direct-to-consumer mortgage company and the sixth largest wholesale company in the industry. To put it in perspective, I had years where my divisions would do roughly $75 billion a year in mortgages. And we would
Great.
earn a net profit of over $300 million a year, which was a lot of fun. Yeah, so it
Yeah,
was
that is
exciting.
huge.
Yeah, it was big. Thousands of employees, all of that. So building something like that, literally from the beginning all the way up, is an experience and a lot of fun as well. Uh, I decided at one point that, looked at the world, and I saw foreclosures were going to be a big thing. So I bought and sold 300 houses in 18 months, every one of them for a profit. I didn't enjoy it, so I stopped. It was profitable. Could have made a lot of money continuing. I just didn't enjoy it. And I'm a firm believer of only doing things that I enjoy. I'm a firm believer of only working with people that I enjoy. If I get a client who in this industry or any industry, it doesn't matter, and they're just not nice, there's no price I'm going to give them that I'm going to work with them. I don't want to work with them. I want to have a good time. Life is too short. So anyway, I've built a whole bunch of different businesses. I learned a little bit about entertainment, and I started a company from scratch. And we did 8 feature-length films with the biggest name stars. We did movies with Tom Cruise and Natalie Portman and Mark Ruffalo and Laura Linney and on and on and on. Orlando Bloom, and it was a lot of fun. We also created and produced the Broadway show Rock of Ages, which ended up as the 30th longest running play of all time. Uh,
Great. There's one thing that I'm seeing in your career, like you are shifting and you are following your passion. Like you are taking exit from that where you are feeling bored, and then you are entering into that field where you feel interested, not where market is going. So
that's right.
you are finding your interest and then entering in that market and making it grow.
100% correct. It's not what I do as far as deciding the next industry to get involved in and things like that. It's not a matter of um, like e-commerce. I was retired for 5 years, and then I decided to get into this business and create this business. But
Mhm.
why? Because e-commerce was booming? No, that's not why I was going in. I was going in because I saw an opportunity to help sellers grow. I literally had a dream one day. Once I learned about Amazon and the Amazon, seller world, I had no idea. I went to bed that night and I dreamt that I was on stage talking to thousands of sellers. And I don't know what I was saying, but I was helping them grow their businesses. And I love helping people grow businesses. So to me, I woke up in the morning, I'm like, damn, I'm going to have to leave retirement to do this. And I didn't even have a business model. I just knew that I wanted to help these sellers grow businesses. So then we created the AccruMe business model. So it's just, you're absolutely right. I follow my passion. I try to help people along the way, everywhere I go, and just have fun doing it.
Uh, Great. I guess this already covered one part, that whenever you are building a company, it is totally based on your interest, not that where market is going, right? And this should be the approach for every entrepreneur as we grow, because we follow what others are doing instead of what we want to do. So I guess
Right.
that is something very valuable that you have added. Uh, there is one important part
So,
whenever
so,
you.
so just stay with that for a second. If you're doing something that you enjoy, that
Mhm.
you're interested in, you're
Yeah,
going to do better. You're going to do.
yeah,
You're going to be in it longer. It's not work anymore. You're going to go to back on your computer after dinner, and you're going to enjoy digging in and learning more and trying new things. If it's an industry that's just an industry to you, you may not enjoy it to do that. You may
yeah.
not. It might be a job.
Yeah, but there is one more point to it, like you will not enjoy every day of it. You will face
Right.
hard challenges there, but in
Absolutely.
the nutshell, you will enjoy the whole process. That is something important, because we feel that we should enjoy each and every day, but that is not correct. Like there are some responsibilities that we have to maintain and to be disciplined in that area. So that is
Yep.
just, a point added to that.
Very good point.
Like yeah, coming from here, like whenever you start building a company, at certain point, there is a team that takes the company ahead. Like you cannot manage everything at all. Like you are talking
Yeah.
about a company that is doing billions of dollars. So when it comes to team building, like how you have worked with people and how you identify those kind of potential team members, just to hear like what your mindset is around that.
I might have a different answer than just about everybody, but I'm going to tell you the
Hmm.
way that I built teams. And I built teams with thousands of people, that started with zero. So to put it in perspective, and I built smaller teams as well. But one of
Hmm.
the things that I will tell you that every team that I built I'm still good friends with everybody. Years, even 30 years later, I'm still good friends with those teams. And I'll tell you why. Uh, when I'm hiring people, what I like to do is do a personality test. And there are plenty of personality tests out there. It doesn't really matter which one you choose, but because everyone I've seen gives it basically the same results. But that's going to tell you if this person is right for a sales job, an accounting job, a marketing
Yeah.
job, that type of thing. So I want to know that up front. If they want to be a salesperson and it's showing me that they're an accountant and that they really should be in, an accounting type job, they may not be successful at sales. So I would have to really question if I would give them that shot. And if I gave them that shot in sales, we would have to have that conversation up front so that, they know and I know that, they've got to really prove themselves. And we'll have to give them some extra resources to learn how to do sales. But for the most part, I wouldn't want to hire somebody to do sales who should be an accountant or to be a lawyer who should be in sales or whatever it might be. So I like to do the personality test. Secondly, I like to sit down with them face to face, preferably, but over Zoom is fine as well.
Hmm.
I want to know who they are. I don't really care too much about what their game plan is with the business and how they're going to do their job, because if they're hard workers and they're going to enjoy their job, they're going to get the job done. And if they don't get it done, we'll have to let them go. But what I want to know is, I want to know what kind of music do they like. I want to know, what do they do outside of work? Do they play sports? What kind of vacations do they enjoy going on? Do they have children? Do they have family, brothers, sisters? What's the dynamic that this person is coming from? Now there's a personal relationship where I know who they are and they know who I am, because I share a lot about who I am. And now we come together as a team, that person and myself, and then with everybody else. But if I'm getting along well with this person, and I think that they're a good person and they're enjoyable, and I think they have the drive to really do the job, they're going to fit well with the rest of the team. So the whole team does better by hiring good people. If I hired the best person in the world for that job and they were jerks, they were
Hmm.
just not a good person, that would hurt the rest of the team. The whole
Exactly.
team would go down. So I don't care that you're the best. I'll give you one story. So in my first mortgage company, and we were doing a lot of volume, very large, in New York at the time. And my number one salesperson was just a jerk. I just didn't like the guy. And he only came into the office like once a week. And when he came in, he brought in a bunch of business. It was great. He brought in a lot of business, but I didn't enjoy when he was in the office. So one day I pulled into the parking lot. I own the building, and I see his car there. I'm like, oh, I don't even want to go in. I'm like, wait a minute, I own this company. So I go in, I go by his desk. I said, come on in, let me talk to you for a minute. Comes in and I said, look, I don't want any more of your business. You're going to have to go elsewhere. You'll get paid 100% on anything that you brought in. You don't have to worry about that. And he goes, are you kidding me? Do you know how much business I bring in? I said, of course I know how much business you bring in. And he said to me, so why are you firing me? And I thought to myself, we're not that big. And this was early on. And so I said to myself, just tell him the truth. I said, truthfully, Barry, I don't like you and I don't want to work with you. And that's it. And so he left. What happened after that is he represented, more than a third of the volume of my company. So that was going to be a big hit. We were going to go down, that was going to hurt.
Yeah.
Later that day, different women in the office, young girls in the office, came to me to thank me for firing him. I didn't know it, but he was hitting on all these young girls. He was an older married guy that had a lot of money, and he was hitting on these young girls and leaving notes on their cars that was totally inappropriate. But since he was such a big producer, they were afraid to say anything. So what happened? I fire him. The next month, you would think my volume would be way down. My volume went up. Everybody else on the team did better. It raised the level of the whole company by getting rid of that guy. So one of the things that the way I put it to most of my managers over the years is, when you are growing fast, you will make a mistake in hiring. You will. You're going to bring on a person that you shouldn't have brought on. And what do you do about it? You fire them immediately. Get them out. And the term I use is cut out the cancer. And because that cancer will affect everybody else. And if you care about your team and your business, you'll get rid of that bad apple like this. And so one of my managers, in front of 75 managers, one of the managers stood up and said, but Don, HR tells us we're not allowed to do that. We have to give a 60-day improvement plan, and then a 30-day this, and then a 30-day notice. I said, no, 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 no. You fire them that day. And they said, well, what about HR? I said, that's why we have lawyers. Don't worry about it. Not your problem. I'll take care of that problem. But get rid of them that day. That's how you protect your team, and your whole team will do better as a result.
Yeah, that is like you have raised a very important point, because most of the time we think that this person is doing good, but he's stopping
Yeah,
a lot of your team members from performing up to their best level. So
right.
I think that is some like a very high end advice. And yeah, definitely. Uh, Implementing it will be hard for a new business, or maybe making that decision is quite hard, but you have to take that hard decisions. to build a sustainability in the longer run.
You
So
have to
I
make
guess
the
that,
hard decisions. If you don't make the hard decisions, your
yeah,
business will not do well. You have to make the tough decisions.
perfect, great. uh, Taking it on from here, like we can go on this topic, but
Yeah, I
we have
know.
a limited time. But yeah, I definitely wanted to talk more about that, but the time is limited. So we will come to the AccruMe, which is our actual topic. So I would like to understand the model here, right? Like what is the business model of AccruMe, and how exactly it is helping sellers to grow.
So, before I got into this industry, I learned about Amazon sellers and I learned how many they were. I didn't have any idea, I had no idea. I called three sellers that my accountants gave me. And each one of them, at the end, I asked them questions. I didn't know what FBA meant, I didn't know anything. And I was just calling them to learn. And at the end, the last question I asked each one of them was, "What do you need?" They all had the same answer: we need better sources of capital. The sources of capital in this industry are terrible. So I did the research. And the first ad I saw for a loan was borrow 10,000, pay back 11. It's that simple. I'm like, wow, that sounds great. How could I compete with that? Why would I even want to get involved? So I called the company. I learned a few things about the loan. And then I built a spreadsheet. And I realized because the term of that loan was only 6 or 7 months. So the seller, to pay off that loan, the monthly payment, you would have to earn 18% monthly ROI just to pay the loan. You get nothing out of
Yeah,
it. So you can't
you
grow.
will
You
not
can't
get
grow.
anything.
Yeah, you can't grow. So all of the loans that I've seen in this industry are based on revenue. So your top line revenue. So what happens there? The monthly payments are astronomical. Or if it's a term loan, like it's a short term, so maybe it's 6, 7, maybe 10 months. And if you're paying back a loan in 10 months even, the monthly payment is going to be very, very high. So you can't grow. You don't have money to grow. It's
Yeah,
it's a catch 22. The lender makes money. The lender has almost no risk because they're getting paid back quickly. So they have almost no risk. But you can't do what you were promised to do, grow your business, because all of your money, instead of staying in the business, is going to them. So what we did was my partner and I, we sat down over lunch, and in 90 minutes, we came up with this model. Instead of lending the money, why don't we invest in the seller? All right. So the different dynamic, but we don't take any equity. So the seller owns 100% of their company. Okay. Interesting idea, right? Now, since we're not lending, we don't charge any interest. There's no interest at all. We don't charge any fees, no fees at all. There's no term. So you use the money for as long or as short as you want. And the best part, now I'm going to tell you how we make money in a second, but the best part, and this is what really enables growth, is there are no monthly payments. Sounds crazy, but think about this. And this is the way lending should have been done from the beginning, if anybody actually thought about it.
yeah,
So, yeah, but it's 2,000 years old, and we're trying to change the model now. So, uh, no monthly payments. You pay when it's right for you. So think about it. You're a seller and it's November, October. Let's say it's October, and you have the opportunity to buy more inventory that you know is going to sell in November and December. You know it's going to sell, and you're going to make a 15 or a 20% return on that investment each month. Why would you take that money and send it to me instead of buying inventory? Makes no sense. You should buy that inventory. You should build your business. So what we did was we said, when you have opportunities to grow, grow, build your business. Don't send us money. Leave it in the business. Build your business. And then maybe it's March or April, you might be slow. And what happens when you're slow? Your inventory comes down. Your cash goes up. You have a lot of money in the bank. That's when you should make monthly payments. That's when you should take money out of your account and pay down whatever you owe us. So I'll tell you how we make money in a second. But first off, our very first client, who's still on board with us 4 years later, very first client, never met them before. We met them at a trade show. That was it. And They didn't make a monthly payment until the 19th month. Can you imagine that? So this is our first investment into a seller. And people on Wall Street who are putting money into us are asking, will anybody ever pay you back? And we said, we think so. But the first seller didn't pay us anything until the 19th month. And in the 19th month, they sent us $2,000. The next month, three, then five, then 10. So I called them up and I said, congratulations. It looks like you guys are really, I think they increased their business by tenfold in that period of time, just to put it in perspective. And I said, congratulations. It looks like you're going to be paying us off. Sorry to see you go. And they said, no, 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 no. We're not making any more payments now. So they started making a payment like maybe in February or March. And a few months later, maybe it was May, and they said, no, we're not making any more payments. Now we're starting to plan our growth for the rest of the year. So, and then maybe 2 months later, they came back and they took more money out to grow into the next phase. So just think about it. We have some sellers right now that haven't paid us in over 2 years, but they're growing like this into an exit. And when they exit, we get nothing. They get it all. So just to put it in perspective, let me tell you the key here. All right. Because everybody's probably saying, all right, but come on, how do you make money? So what we do is we get a percentage of profits. All right. Just as long as you use our money. So as soon as you pay us back, we get nothing. And again, we own none of your business. So what percentage of profits do we get? Without getting into all the details, but I'll give you a high level of how it works because it's really more important this way. The seller earns 100% of the profit on their money. Okay. So think about that. The seller is earning 100%. So they don't lose anything. They're not losing a penny. They're not taking a penny out of their pocket to send to us.
Yeah.
Now with the money that we're giving them, the seller earns 87.5% of the profit on our money. We earn a small percentage of profit. Yeah. So, and this is based on, that percentage is based on the seller earning 10%, a 10% ROI. If the seller's earning a 10% ROI, that's the number. So if they're earning more, they earn a higher percentage. If they earn less, it's a lower percentage.
So just to understand, like, let's say they make a profit on, let's say you have given them a $10,000 capital and they earn a profit on that, let's say, maybe $1,000. So you will own 87% out of that profit.
I'll give you, I'm going to change the example just slightly, but
Yeah.
just because it's in my head and it works out pretty well. So let's say the seller had $20,000 of their capital, and they're earning a 10% return. And so they're going to earn $2,000. And now we give them $20,000, and they're going to earn, $2,000 on that. So now there's $4,000.
Yeah.
In our market, they're going to keep $3,500, and we would get 500 of that.
Got it.
So think about it. They never took money out of their pocket to send to us. They're paying us out of money that's been created
by your capital.
Yeah.
Got it. And then you have like brackets for maybe if some seller is generating high ROI, you reduce that percentage, and it depends. Like we can have a customized deal on multiple seller accounts, maybe.
So if the seller is earning a higher ROI, they just earn more money. They earn a higher percentage. We end up getting fixed at a lower percentage. So they earn more and more, and we earn less and less as a percentage. So anything over that 10% ROI, they keep 100% of.
Got it. I think that is great. Like I got a bit of idea. We can chat off board to get a bit more details on that. But this model is a bit different than what all the others are doing. Like I have been talking to companies like Bopos where they are taking a percentage on total profits. If they are investing in your business, then they are taking total percentage of profit, and then there's nothing left behind. One more question I would like to add: when you say profit, that profit is like EBITDA, or what exact profit is that?
Sure. So profit, we're only Amazon right now. We will be expanding. So here's profit. It's everything we can see. So it's the total revenue less your cost of goods sold, less all the Amazon fees, including PPC.
Hmm.
And that's what the profit is. So it doesn't count your car lease or if you have other expenses in your business. We're not counting those. We do count a 3PL. So if you have
Okay.
3PL, we count that as well
Okay.
as an
3PL
expense.
cost is there, and if you have like any kind of tools or system that are running in, will that cost to be included as well?
No, no, those are all separate. Those are on you.
Okay. Operational expenses like staff and these kind of tools are then a separate thing.
That's right. Yep. So
Okay.
it's just the Amazon. So the Amazon revenue, less your cost of goods sold, less all the Amazon fees, including PPC, and less your 3PL costs.
Got it. Got it. And yeah, and then you will have that profit number and then it will be split by the capital.
Yep.
Okay. And what kind of exposure you will have to the books of the sellers? That will be another important question to understand.
Really, not much. What we do is we access their account on Seller Central, so
Hmm.
we can see, all of their every transaction with Amazon, whatever they sell. We ask the seller to show us their cost per units, so that gives us what the actual cost is, so we can build a P&L, profit and loss, and that's it. What we do is, yeah, that's basically it.
Great. So I understand like there will be three things from the seller. One will be seller account, then it will be the 3PL cost invoices, and then third thing will be the supplier invoices where you will get the COGS and landed cost. Right?
Yep. Yep.
Great. I
Exactly.
guess that is quite simple and straightforward. Like I was thinking there will be a lot of processes around that, but it
We don't
is quite
we
simple.
don't yeah, we don't look at their you know financial statements or anything like that. We build
Mhm.
everything ourselves because everything is there. And one other thing that I wanted to mention is that on Amazon, on Seller Central, we are the number one rated capital provider. So we're not the biggest, but everybody that uses us loves us. So you'll see more 5-star reviews for us than you'll see for anybody else. Companies that are
That
much larger than us don't have what we have.
that is great. This brings me to like another question, like what is your kind of selection criteria for Amazon sellers
Sure.
that you would like to work with?
Sure. So minimum, you have to be in the business for a minimum of 6 months, and we go as low as $20,000 as far as how much we'll put out with a seller. That's the smallest that we'll go. And I get a lot of calls from people in Pakistan asking about, they have $2,000 or $3,000 because a lot of sellers are just starting, and it's very exciting, and they're very excited. And I try to help coach them on how they can go out and raise other capital, and get from here to here, so then they can make use of what we have. But we don't go too small. We used
Hmm.
to, and we found it didn't really make sense for us. So the
Yeah,
minimum that we'll give someone is $20,000, and we just want to see that they're profitable and they've been in the business at least 6 months, so that they know basically what they're doing.
yeah. And business model, like it can be any kind of business model, like private label wholesale, or do you specifically pick some models?
It it's kind of a great question. So private label, wholesale, uh, retail arbitrage, all good.
Okay.
Yeah, we have some online arbitrage. We have stories. I can tell you about people. Like, it was one guy in wholesale when he came to us a little over a year ago. He was earning $1,500 in profit in a month, and that was in December. By May, he was earning $44,000 in profit. Just that's he had a good model. He had good suppliers, but he didn't have the money. So he went from $1,500 of profit to 44,000, and then he went up to 56,000 a couple of months later. A retail arbitrage guy, he was making $2,500 a month in profit, and he just didn't. Again, he didn't have the money to grow. We gave him the money to grow. It was a little bit over a year now, and a little over a year, he was making about $45,000 a month in profit. And then he expanded from retail arbitrage. He created a wholesale business. And so he built that. And now he's just taking some of our money to start his private label business.
Great,
Fantastic.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. You are just betting on the right person, the way he's building that business, and then you're not caring about the money, like it will be the byproduct and it will flow automatically. So this is something great. I was quite curious to know about this model. Like I have heard about AccruMe for a very long time. I'm seeing that, but right now I got a bit of more clarity, like what exactly is happening and what is the thought process behind that. So pretty excited, and maybe we can have some collaborations on that definitely.
Would love it.
Uh, yeah. So I think we covered like a lot of things. Anything else that you would like to add regarding AccruMe that I missed, that can be helpful for the audience?
Nothing that I can think of, but we set it up
Got
so
it.
that there's pretty much no downside for the seller to use us.
Yeah.
You're not spending money, you're not taking money out of your pocket, you're not, there's no interest, there's no fees. I mean, it just makes all the sense in the world. And when a seller takes money from us, there's whatever money is available to them. They could come back to us 2 weeks later, or a month later, or 3 months later, and say, I need another X amount of dollars. And it's in their account the same day because we have all the information. We can see it right away. And the seller every day in our portal sees how much money is available to them. So they know they don't have to take the money out like a term loan where they offer you $100,000, you only need 50, but you take the 100. So that really doubles your cost because you're only really using 50 to grow your business. 50 stays in the bank. So you're paying on $100,000, but
Mm,
only getting
yeah.
the benefit of 50. So you're doubling your cost. So we don't do that. If you need, let's say you took $20,000 and you come back to us at any time and you need another $2,000, it's in your account the next minute. It's that simple, as opposed to taking $40,000 and paying on $40,000. Take it piece by piece as you need it. It's better
Great.
for you.
Yeah, there is one more question that just got in my mind right now. Like, let's say if there's a worst case scenario, like you did an investment and it didn't went right. Like
Yeah,
the seller was profitable, but there is some issue that happened with the account or anything like that, and
yeah.
now they are going down. Like, so what is your SOPs around that? Like, for how much time you can allow the seller to use your money or work in their business?
Usually, if they're not profitable for 2 months or more in a row, we have plenty of sellers that are profitable 3, 4 months, and then they're unprofitable for 1 month, and then they're back to being profitable. Then they go unprofitable. It happens. But
Yeah.
if a seller is not profitable for 2 to 3 months, we call them and we find out what's going on. And sometimes it's a legitimate situation where they'll say, my inventory got held up. It's just coming in. It'll be there in 3 days. We're going to be off to the races. Okay, great. But a lot of times they don't know how to run a business. So what we do at that point is we talk to them about exiting. We gave you $20,000. How do we get out of this now and not kill you and your business? So why don't you pay us off, 10,000 now and 5,000 over the next, a month for the next 2 months, and we part ways, whatever it might be. But we find a,
Got
a
it.
reasonable solution that works for everybody, and we part our ways.
Great. And like just to get a bit more clarified here, like it will be the same investment that was done, right? Like we already did a term that no interest or any other factor will affect that. So is there any kind of adjustment if the return is done, or how you deal with that? Like, is it specific to each sellers?
So I'm not sure I understood. Is there an adjustment?
Yeah, like let's say I invested 20,000 in a business and now the profits, let's say we are closing the deal now. So how you will adjust that? You will get 20,000 out of that, or is
We
there
would get
any?
out. We would get whatever's owed to us at that
Mhm.
time is what is
Great.
owed to us.
Great.
Yeah.
I guess this model is like going in favor of with like completely in favor of the seller. So that is something you're really positive about AccruMe. And yeah, definitely your approach is right. Like you are helping the way you're labeling it, you are exactly following that path. So that is something I'm truly amazed by that.
It feels
Uh,
good.
yeah, definitely. So Don, I have some questions from the audience. We will take those
Sure.
and then we will end the session. So I have like there's one question I would like to display it here. So what are the five best attributes every entrepreneur should have according to you. So I think that is
Interesting.
an interest. Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. I like it. So the five best, I would have to say that from an entrepreneur standpoint, you have to really be interested. So whatever you're doing, you have to be interested in it. That you want to read a lot, you want to learn a lot, listen to podcasts, webinars, be on something like this, reach out to people on LinkedIn, and just learn, 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 learn. If you're interested in it, you're going to want to keep learning. So, being interested in that topic, whatever it is, I think is probably the most important. I would also, whatever I was doing, I would want to look at it to see, is there a profit to be made? Are people making money in that industry? And then I would look at the models in that industry and see where I fit in and what feels right to me. I'm a firm believer and a big believer in trusting your gut. Steve Jobs had said it once. You can look at all the facts or whatever, but your gut knows the answer. And
Mm.
if my gut tells me that this doesn't feel right, I'm not doing it. And when my gut tells me this feels right, I'm doing it. So I don't need all the decisions, all the numbers and everything else. Yeah, I'll do the research, but I'm a firm believer in a statement that I've used my whole career is start stupid. Okay. So you don't have to know everything. So whatever you can learn about this industry, if you figure out that it's good, then take the next step. Whatever that next step is, take a step. If you do research and research and research and
Yeah.
research, you're going to research yourself. You're going to hate it eventually because you put in all this work and you didn't make a dollar, you didn't make a penny, nothing. So it's not going to be fun. So do the research and then start. And what happens when you start? You're going to run into some obstacles. You're going to figure them out. You're going to, there's a block in the way. You're going to step over it. But also, not only are there obstacles that you're going to find, you're also going to find new opportunities that you would never have found unless you took that first step,
Yeah.
and then the second step, and the third step. You don't have to start a business and say, I'm going to be the biggest in the world. You just have to start. So start, go down the path, make adjustments as you go. Sometimes whatever your business is today and what you think it's going to be, 9 months
It
from
will
now,
not be that.
most likely it'll be different. So be aware that you have to be able to be flexible to change and go down different paths. Look what Haseeb has done. Now, I don't know your story completely, but I imagine you probably started out as a seller, as most people like yourself, and then you realize that people are asking you questions and you have the answers, and you're able to help all these people grow their businesses. So you end up starting a different business because if you didn't go down that path as a seller, you wouldn't have seen this opportunity. And
Yeah.
now you
So
have this opportunity to help people grow and make a living doing it as well. Right? Go ahead.
definitely.
I'm sorry.
So, yeah, you are completely right about that. Like, I started with that part of launching the brand and managing and doing the product research part and, PPC and all that. But when it comes to finding the gap in the market, I realized that supply chain part, that is the core of the business, and no one is focusing in that area. So that is where I got my gut feeling, as you will say, that this is the area where we should hit, and we should try to capture that area, because the companies are growing, everything is growing, and eventually sellers will face this issue. So we tried to build SOPs and processes around that, and you are 100% right about this. You have to take the first step and start executing things instead of doing the research.
Right. So,
So
and we all know the saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And it's the truth. Whatever it is, even if you're interested in this industry, take the one step of learning more. Everybody that's on this right now is taking the step of learning more today. And what's the next place for you to learn more? And then at the same time, start your business and put your toe in the water. Just start.
Great, great. I guess with that note, we will end the podcast because I guess we are already over time. So, Don, I would like to have you another time as well to talk about some other areas in entrepreneurship because you have a lot of experience and definitely that will be quite valuable for all of us.
I would
So,
love it.
yeah, Don, thank you for your time and it was nice talking to you. And yeah, have a great day.
Can I say one more thing, Haseeb?
Yeah, yeah, please,
If
definitely.
anybody wants to reach out to me on LinkedIn, it's my full name, Donald, Donald, and my last name, Henig, Henig. Feel free to reach out. Mention that you saw me on this podcast. I'm happy to help you if I can, even if you're not working with AccruMe. If I can help you in any way, I will.
There is one thing that I did, like I'm already mentioned your company and your name completely on that. So if anyone is reaching out to you, they will be landing in your inbox. So
Sounds great.
thank you, Donald, and it was nice talking to you. And have a great day.
Thank you, Haseeb.
Perfect. Bye.
Bye.